Welcome to Attention Retention, the podcast where we explore the world of recruitment and retention in the trucking and logistics industry. I'm your host, Jackie McManus, CEO of KJ Media, a recruitment advertising agency specializing in this space. Today, we're going to be recapping our show with our friends at SiriusXM Road Dog Trucking, channel 146. Make sure to like and subscribe on whatever channel you're listening to so you can stay up to date on all future content.
Welcome to Attention Retention with Jackie McManus, your source for the latest trends in transportation recruitment and retention.
What a great show we had today on SiriusXM Road Dog Trucking. Today, we chatted with drivers on why they're in the industry and what's keeping them at their current company. From where I sit in my day-to-day, I'm always looking forward to the opportunity to talk with drivers directly and find out to the core why they chose this profession and what's keeping them at their current carrier. First things first, Tim and I discussed how the difference between today's truckers' generational gap and the next generation of workers. Over a decade or more ago, many drivers, baby boomers and Gen X, learned about the trucking industry because one of their family members was a truck driver or a good friend or a friend of a friend, and they grew up in the industry and truly understood what the life cycle was like for a professional truck driver. So when a driver was ready to go out on the road, they had a pretty clear understanding of what the position entailed. Many drivers called in that were baby boomers and Gen X and said it is a true passion is in the blood. Whereas what we have found over the last couple of years that the newer generation that's coming into this industry may not have a full, deep understanding of what the job entails. They may see an ad or a quick video and looks like a path they may want to explore and go down. After a few months, they realize the profession is just not for them. So what that tells us as an industry is that we need to create more concrete videos on the actual day of the life of a professional truck driver and find ways to keep the younger generation engaged while they're out on the road each and every day. One piece that we see a lot of is a form of a mentorship program, especially with the younger generation of drivers, where carriers are partnering younger drivers with more senior drivers and helping them navigate the daily in and out stresses that happen to come with the job, and really having a confidant and a form of a therapist, if you will, in talking them through and navigating what their day-to-day looks like. So we've seen a lot of success with companies hiring maybe student drivers or trying to target the next generation, pairing these drivers up with a driver mentor, and then also providing clear, concrete videos on what the day in the life at that specific company will be like. One driver called in and he told us a story on how he was working at a trucking company, washing the trucks. He started at the young age of 17. His father and grandfather were both professional truck drivers. At 21, he decided to get a CDL with the help of the company. And he has been with the same company for over 40 years. He has had the opportunity to advance in his career and become a part of the operations team and ultimately the management team. But he did decide that the road warrior life was perfect for him. That retention rate of 40 years is something that we obviously do not see anymore. And while this is a very unique scenario, it does paint the picture of why it's so important as an industry to truly show the career growth and the career path opportunities for the newer generation that are coming into our space. Another driver called in, and he actually is now currently a CEO of a medium-sized truck company in the Northeast. And his father started the company a few decades ago. And before he got the keys to take over the company, he wanted to get a CDL and live the road warrior life to understand what his team of drivers and his employees go through on a day-to-day basis. He spent a little time on the road, probably about 3 to 4 months, but was able to gather a true snapshot of exactly what his team and drivers go through on the day-to-day. And with this knowledge, when he did take the reins over from his father, he he was able to create a better company for each of his employees because of his experience. So through him getting his CDL and becoming a CDL driver, he was not only to successfully grow the business, but he actually has a very low turnover rate of around 25%, which is wow compared to the industry average of about 70 to 90%. And I would say that time on the road that he spent getting a CDL and spending time on the road was definitely time well spent because he was able to take pieces of that and bring that into his workplace and bring that into his company to develop his current driver force and then ultimately grow the company. We also discussed how important it is for companies to show how there is a career path. Warehouse workers starting at 18 years old who then become a CDL driver, who then maybe become a recruiter or dispatcher, and really want to circle back to painting a path of career path for the trucking industry as a whole. In many of the companies that we work with, at least 1 to 2 people in management may have their CDL and was an active driver at some point in their career. You can absolutely see the energy shift and the attention to detail and how they communicate with their drivers with having that sort of experience. I'm not suggesting everyone in management has their CDL, but it is a great opportunity for the management team, especially during this slower time that we're seeing right now in our market, to learn more about what it takes to become and be a professional truck driver. We're seeing now a lot of clients that maybe not have their CDL, but want to learn more about the day-to-day life, taking ride-alongs with their drivers, maybe going out for 2, 3 days, 4 days at a time with different drivers and experience what that looks like for their internal staff so that they can find ways to streamline and make their lives a little bit more easier out on the road. And bottom line is there are so many success stories to share with the next generation of truckers in this industry. And I've been gratefully a part of this industry now for almost 15 years. And I may be biased in saying this, but I do believe that we truly are one of the most passionate, dedicated industries out there. We want to help each other. We want to lift each other up as a collective so that we can grow and fill the demand that is out there in the economy for our industry. And just like at any other industry, what you give is what you get back. And I have to say, I truly believe that specifically in our space is, what you put out there, what you'll receive back. And there are so many opportunities besides for just becoming a CDL driver within the trucking industry that we really as an industry need to show and showcase to the next generation of potential drivers, potential dispatchers, operations, warehouse workers. And during this time in our industry where we're able to take a deep breath, pause a little bit, it's a perfect opportunity to look at your brand and how you're messaging to new candidates. What is your company story? How are you telling that story? And what can you do to grow your candidate database so that you are the preferred carrier of choice? Another driver called in and he said it was simple why he's been with the same carrier for over 10 years. They know him by name. They know his family and they know his career goals. This is truly the time to get to know all of your employees, specifically drivers and folks that aren't in the office on a day-to-day basis. By taking that time to know each one of your drivers' names, knowing their family, what they want accomplished in their career goals by working together with your company, this is where companies are really seeing a reduction in overall turnover rates. Drivers don't want to be a number. They want to be treated like a human, which is well-deserved. And there's always competitors and drivers looking for other opportunities, but many drivers from our conversations are happy to stay with companies that just truly bottom line care about them and take the time to get to know them and praise them for all of their hard work. A little bit goes a long way. As always, we love to hear from our listeners, so please feel free to reach out to me directly to learn more about accelerating your processes and developing those relationships with your current workforce. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day.